Hello and welcome to the DMV Roundtable podcast. I am your host, Jose Barreto, and in today's episode, I am joined here by Jenny Canales of the DelAria Team. Hey, how are you, Jenny?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. No, thank you for coming over. I appreciate taking the time and doing this. I know you. It's one of those things that you.
Here.
I got you. I've been wanting to do it, so thank you for coming. So let's start. Tell me a little bit about you. You personally.
Me personally?
Yeah.
Well, I live in Virginia.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from El Salvador.
Okay.
I came here when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
So I've been here for 27 years. Oh, damn, I just told my age.
Oh,
I'm
hey, no, don't be sorry. We can always edit that out. No, I'm not going to edit it out.
I lived in Virginia for the last 27 years.
Okay.
My entire family's here. So I love real estate. I'm passionate about it, and I
Okay.
love helping my clients.
Okay.
I have two daughters, 14 and 12.
14 and 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. So what about the DelAria Team? Tell me a little bit about the DelAria Team. When did you start in real estate?
In real estate, I've been since 2009.
Okay, let's back it up. So before that, where were you? What led you to real estate?
Yeah,
Tell
so
me.
my background is insurance.
Okay.
I used to have an agency with Cameron, my husband.
Okay.
We started it in 2003.
Oh.
So that was an insurance agency.
Okay.
PNC, Property and Casualty.
Okay.
So that's my background.
So that you started that one in 2003.
Yes.
Okay.
And we sold it in 2007. Then we decided, hey, why not get into real estate? So that's how this whole thing started.
Okay.
So I used to help him. He got his real estate license before I did. So I used to help him with
So he
his
was a
file.
realtor, and then you got your license.
Right. Then I got my license and I went full time. We do flipping on the side as well. So we do flipping, but we also do the retail side, helping buyers and sellers.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what areas do you cover? I mean, obviously you're from this area here, but
Yeah.
tell me specifically what areas are you concentrating on?
So right now we're concentrating in Fairfax County.
Okay.
I am licensed in all 3 states, and I know the Maryland side well as well, and DC.
Right.
And mainly is Virginia. So our office is in Fairfax. So we try to focus on the area of Fairfax County.
Fairfax County. Okay. And DC or no?
DC, yeah.
Okay.
I do DC as well.
Okay. For the
some-
retail side, so we're separating the two. Like
Yeah.
I'm specifically asking about your real estate.
So Virginia, it's mainly where we focus.
That's what you focus
Yeah,
on. Okay.
yeah, Virginia.
All right. So tell me what your style is like. Tell me a little bit about first-time home buyers. How you help first-time home buyers.
So first-time home buyers, I like educating them first because I think that first-time home buyers are, everywhere. They go from 0 to 100 very quickly, and they get a little confused with everything because there's so much information out there.
Right.
Especially in this day and age, everything is on the internet. You can Google everything.
Right.
But not everything that you find in Google is the reality, you know?
Right.
So I love to educate my first-time home buyers. I start there. So I sit them down, I talk to them, I find out what their goals are. What is it that they want to do? Where do they want to live?
Sure.
And then, of course, we have partner lenders that offer first-time home buyer down payment assistance programs.
Okay. Yeah.
So, that's why I like working with them because I feel that there are a lot of agents don't like to work for first-time home buyers because it is a lot of work, honestly.
Yeah.
No,
I understand.
But,
I know it is. It's more rewarding though in a lot of ways.
It is.
Because
It is.
getting somebody who's never been
Right.
through the process, somebody who's never had to go through the financing piece, which could be nerve-wracking if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Navigating through the home inspection and understanding that report that can be very scary.
Right.
Knowing what how much money you need to have for the EMD, what an EMD is,
Right.
an earnest money deposit that
Yeah.
you need to have. Explaining that piece to a buyer, I'm sure there's a lot. It's a lot of work. I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying, but it is very rewarding because
is.
you're sort of reteaching real estate
Right.
to somebody.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because it is rewarding.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when you hand that key over to them,
Yeah.
and you see the
Yeah.
smile on their
I
face,
know,
super amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, we did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the time they're done, they're pros at it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love working with them.
Yeah.
It is very rewarding.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally I feel the same way. What about sellers? Talk to me about sellers.
With sellers, it's a little different, With sellers, because it depends where they are. So I like to have the initial meeting with them to find out what their goals are. whether it is, are they moving up? Are they moving, downsizing, upsizing? Are they moving out of state? You know, what their goal is at the end of the day, why are they selling the property? The why they're selling the property. And then we go into the initial meeting. We also figure out, you know, do they need to do some repairs to the house before we go on the market?
Right.
Is it a home that can be purchased by an investor, cash? Or is it something that we could do, we help them do, whether it's painting, changing the carpet, small items, you know?
Right.
So we help them to get the house ready to maximize their return.
Okay.
So not only do we provide everything that a realtor provides, the service of putting it in the MLS, you know, doing the flyers thing, doing the open house.
Right.
But we also help them to get the house prepared to go on the market, to
Okay.
get the maximum return.
How much marketing do you do?
A lot. So we start the pre-marketing once we go on the coming soon stages.
Okay.
Then we do the reverse prospecting, which means we send out that advertising to everybody that's looking for a house in that subdivision.
Okay.
To all the agents that have setups of searches in the MLS, we send a blast out saying, hey, we have a property coming soon.
Okay.
But going back to what we do for the sellers, we also, you know, a lot of the sellers, depending on their situation, sometimes they want their house sold quickly. Others have the time to wait. So for those, we connect them also with staging companies. If the property is vacant,
Right.
we stage it for them.
How important is staging
Oh,
in a property?
staging. The houses sell so much faster if they're staged.
Okay.
Because, you know, I walk with a lot of buyers in a lot of homes, and we walk through a house that's vacant, they have a very hard time imagining.
It's really hard.
It's really hard for them
Yeah.
to imagine what they could use the space for. So staging it, it's a must when
Yeah,
it's a
the
vacant
seller has to
property.
keep in mind that people walking through their house, it could be a first-time home buyer who has no idea
Right.
what things
Right.
are supposed to look
Exactly.
like, and then they have a tough time imagining their furniture on an empty home.
Exactly.
It is very hard, and I do agree with you
Mm-hmm.
that staging is crucial. Do you find that you sell homes quicker when
Yes.
you stage them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, because you know it's very difficult, but it's a very an expense that they're gonna get back.
Right.
They're gonna get the return on investment.
Around how much are we talking here?
Usually, light staging costs about $2,000.
About $2,000. So
It's what we get it for because we use one company,
That's
a
right.
preferred company, you know, that stages even our projects. We can use it to stage our clients' property as well.
That's right. Okay.
And you know, we have a line of contractors for different things, whether it's paint, carpet, bathroom tile, you know, caulking, whatever we need to do to the home to maximize the return for our clients, that's what we do.
Yeah, you guys have a program that's very interesting in where you guys finance the repair of the house.
Yes.
If the house needs $10,000-$20,000 worth of paint, carpet, and things like that, you guys can do that up front, finance that construction piece, and then charge it at the end
Yes.
to a seller who doesn't have necessarily the cash up front to make those repairs that are going to make the house, sell that much quicker, right?
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
we do have the program. We offer it not to everybody because, like I said, it just really depends what the goal is for that client.
Okay.
What their goal is. And some of them qualify, some of them don't. It just really depends on each seller.
Right.
But we do have that program available.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But in terms of more marketing, do you do social media? Do you use social media
Yeah.
as one of your mediums?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So we also have a big database, an existing database that we market to. We
Okay.
have about 10,000 people in our database that we market to. So every time we have a listing, we offer it through that channel first.
Okay.
And then we put it on social media as well as coming soon.
Gotcha.
We also premier agents for Zillow, so we also market it through there.
Right. Yeah, you're a big Zillow Premier agent
Right,
too.
right, yes.
Nice. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
So we use that as well as a tool to market that property.
Okay.
So it's, you know, marketing, it's something that we do through various of sources. It's not just one.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that we do that we share with our client when we do that initial meeting
Right.
that we make sure we get this house sold,
Okay.
you know, as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's going to yield you the most return anyway.
right.
And that's one of the things that talking to sellers, and especially first-time home sellers, because there's such a thing as a
Right,
first-time
that's-
home
yeah.
seller also, where if you haven't gone through the process of selling the house, you were a first-time home buyer. That means
Right.
you've never sold one. Going
Right.
through that process and understanding all the moving pieces of selling a home, not just the marketing piece, the presentation
Right.
piece, the pricing piece, the negotiation
Right.
piece, contract, navigating. There are so many moving parts
Yeah.
that we go through. I know what you're talking about. So yeah, but first time home sellers, they need to be educated. I feel like that's one part that's being ignored a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
And now that you mentioned that, I had 2 past clients that I just had to sell their home. The first home that I sold them, they were upgrading.
Okay.
So they were selling their first home and moving on to a bigger home.
Right.
So yeah, it was a challenge. They're like, we've been on the side of buying, but this side is completely different. And I said, yeah, this is very different.
Totally
Yeah.
different. Totally different.
You kind of have to teach them and kind of guide them through, be able to get the best for their investment.
Sure.
Best return for their investment.
Of course,
So, yeah.
of course. All right, so tell me a little bit about the market conditions right now. What are you seeing out there? How's the market?
We're still deep in a seller's market. And the thing about when I meet with buyers also is that I try to set expectations, because
Right.
in this market, people get disappointed. I hate delivering news. I am so sorry, we lost the contract.
Right.
That is like the worst.
That's the word. Yeah, that hurts
thing.
the most. Yeah.
Right.
Especially after you've gone through a bunch of houses and then
Right.
you finally find the one that they really like. You put an offer,
Yes.
really nice and strong offer, and you submit.
Yes. And I had a client that told me, I was depressed for like 5 days, a week. Couldn't get out of bed because we lost the house they wanted.
Right.
I feel terrible, delivering the news. But the fact is that that's the market that we're in.
Yeah.
So, if I had to say to any buyer is just make sure that all your ducks in a row, make sure
Yeah.
you have an approval letter, not a pre-approval, an
Right.
approval letter, because that gives you an advantage when you go to submit an offer.
Right.
And for all my buyers, I have them write a personal note to the seller.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, especially if it's truthful, right?
Yes,
Like if they're saying, my family we can see ourselves in the house.
Yes.
It's when they fall in love with the house, I go, put it in writing.
Right.
Put in writing why you
Yeah.
love this house, why you're making an offer on
Yeah.
this house, why you really see yourself raising your family in
Yeah.
this home, and let's go ahead and show that to the
seller.
sellers. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes it works.
No, I'm living proof. It's worked for me this year, especially.
Okay.
People say we're in the midst of COVID, all these things. Yes, we have to adjust a couple of things when we're showing houses
Right.
or listing homes. But I always tell them this market is it's a seller's market.
It's a seller's
It's
market.
a seller's market.
Yeah. The
So-
rates being so low right now.
But that's the thing. So it's a seller's, but also the buyers are getting such a great deal in interest rates.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's a market that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
for
interesting.
both sides.
I wish there was a lot more inventory.
Yes.
I wish there was
We
a lot
need
more
more
We
inventory.
need more inventory.
Yeah, we do. We
We need
do.
more inventory. But that's a very good point. Now, go over a little bit real quick, just what the real estate process is like. Just from the beginning, take me as though I'm your first-time home buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what the process is going to be like from beginning to end.
Okay. So, like I said, the first thing that I do is I have the initial meeting with them, either by Zoom or if they want to meet in person, if they're comfortable in this market.
Right.
So I meet with them and I explain to them, I set expectations of what they expect from me and what I expect from them. The next step is to have them meet with one of our preferred lenders to get
Yep.
them approved.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can know exactly what they're qualified for, and
Right.
then we can narrow down the area where they want to live.
Okay.
And at the beginning it's pretty broad, but then we end up narrowing it down.
Okay.
After that, if they like a home, we start touring homes. After that, if they choose a home, we submit the offer.
Okay.
There's a couple of contingencies that go into the contract.
Okay.
Inspections, appraisal.
What kind of
financing
cost are
contingency.
they looking at up front? Like what? You obviously the EMD, the
Yes.
home inspect. What? Talk about
So
that.
the earnest money deposit, usually we like to make it, anywhere between 2% to 3% of the contract price.
Okay.
So that would depend on the purchase price.
That makes it stronger.
Yes.
Okay.
So the higher your EMD is, the stronger
And
offer
the
you'll
EMD,
have.
for those who don't know, is earnest money deposit.
The earnest money deposit. And
That's
that
not
is-
that's not an expense. That's just money that gets set aside
yeah.
to secure the property.
It's held in escrow until we go to settlement, and that's
Right.
applied either towards their closing costs or towards their down payment.
Correct.
After that, it's just so we go through the inspection process. We negotiate if there's items to be repaired.
Right.
The lender orders the appraisal, so that cost gets collected at settlement.
Right.
Sometimes the lender asks them to pay it.
Right.
That's again, it would depend on the property,
Right.
but between I would say 450 to 600, I would say.
Right.
Inspections also depends on the size of the house, so it could be as low as 350 all the way up to 600.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's cost that they have to put up front.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
After we get past the inspection, appraisals, financing contingency, then we schedule your settlement.
Yeah.
Your final walkthrough and settlement.
Okay.
So
And
the process.
what's a walkthrough for?
The walkthrough is just we make sure that everything is working in the house.
Okay.
That it is the same way when we saw it after the inspection or when we put a contract on it.
Right.
And if they agree to do inspection repairs, that is the time when we confirm that they have
That
been
the
actually
repairs were done.
completed.
Excellent.
So that's the walkthrough. We
Okay.
test everything in the house. We walk the house from top to bottom to make sure everything is working
Okay.
and that it's still there.
That is still there. The house hasn't,
The
it
house
hasn't
is
gone
still
anywhere.
there. There's no holes on the wall.
Okay. All
There's
right.
no fridge missing. You know?
Okay. Very good. All right. So now let's talk about COVID-19 real quick before we end the show.
Yeah.
How has that changed things for you and for your business?
You know, like I said, we just had to adjust a little bit. I think that I still do a lot of video tours. Like when this whole thing started, I found myself doing a lot of video tours. So I will go to the properties, I'll FaceTime my clients. Or
Yeah, so
different-
people who are worried about this, you
Yeah.
have the ability to do
yeah.
things for them so that they don't have to necessarily
Yeah.
go unless they absolutely have to, right?
Yeah, because
So-
you know, a lot of the families that I worked with this year are either relocating to the area, military families moving here. So some of them are not even here. They've purchased properties remotely with me.
Okay.
So I do the initial video tour. I do the inspection. I show up for the inspection for them. I, review the report with them. So it's just a matter of adjusting to what's needed, to do right now. I mean, we use a lot of hand sanitizer.
Right.
Shoe covers, gloves, mask. We can't go anywhere without that. So as far as that is just additional steps that we have to take to be safe for ourselves and also for those around us.
But you do have these things in place
Yes,
in order,
all of that we have it in place. We even when we are the listing agent, we provide that to everybody who's showing the property. We
Gotcha.
provide shoe covers,
Very good.
mask, and gloves.
Okay.
So all of that is provided to them, so that way we can make sure everybody's safe.
Okay. All right.
But aside from that, I mean, the market, like I said, is just beneficial for everybody right now. Even though it's COVID, even though we have to take the additional steps to show a house or to sell a house, but the market is still great to buy or sell.
Right.
Really.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Great. All right. So if anybody watching, they want to get in touch with you, go ahead and give me your digits so that I can let everybody know how they can call you or email you or whatever it is that you want so that they can get in touch with
Yeah.
you and buy a house.
Yeah. So the easiest way to reach me is my cell phone,
Okay.
703-499-0111.
Say it one more time. Just
703-499-0111.
Okay.
They can either shoot me a text or leave me a message. I'll call you right back.
Okay. That's awesome. Anybody out there looking for a great realtor? I mean, I've worked with Jenny for many, many years. She's awesome. Whether you're looking
Thank you,
to buy
Jose.
or sell, or if you're in the investment game and you want to buy and invest in properties, she's also very knowledgeable in that. Please give her a call. She's awesome. Thank you, Jenny, for taking
Thank
the
you,
time
Jose.
to do this with me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have you back again. This is not the last time you're going to sit here because I know we're
All
going
right.
to answer some more questions for people.
All right.
This was just a quick one to get you introduced and get you going. Thank you for coming, and for
Thank you for
everybody
having
out
me.
there listening and watching, thank you for tuning in to the DMV Roundtable podcast. We'll see you next week on the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.